what happened was that on the, as you can recall, at the Kiddies Carnival, there was an issue with the Junior Panorama. They were not comfortable with the platform that was there. I was at the stadium at that time and I met with them, we spoke, and they agreed that they would play and they performed. And I said to them that we will have a meeting on the Monday, which was August Monday, at the Spice Must office, so we can chart the way forward in terms of improvement and everything else. We met on August Monday and we even talked about Tanteen, and they said, no way, we don't want to go to Tanteen, we want to be at the stadium, and they suggested that we use the Junior Murray stand. This is why you can see that the platform was set up there. Also at the meeting, we were saying we have issues with the platform because when we found out that we couldn't have the stage that was promised to us, we decided to check around. They check around to see where they can get platforms and all of that. We have discussed it at a management meeting. Mr. Peck Edwards is at the meeting. He's on a management team. He represents PAN. So we knew there were some issues that needed to be addressed. Then at the meeting, a gentleman from the Common Cherries, is that the group?
That's the Monday meeting? That one is
Yes.
after the Monday meeting?
Monday meeting. He said that he knew someone by the name of Double D who can build the platform. And he would call him at this point in time. We were all in the room. He called him and he spoke with him. The gentleman said, yes, he can build it, but he needs some extra platform.
On Wednesday, he was fully paid, and he agreed to have the stage constructed and delivered.
The platform.
Delivered in time for Panorama. We visited the project every day, so we noticed nothing was done on Wednesday, nothing was done on Thursday. And on Friday, we contacted the PAN Association again. They did give us a commitment that it will happen. Saturday morning, again we visited, because we noticed nothing was happening. So we visited at about 7. We again contacted Mr. Greenwich, who indicated that Double D was going to commence Saturday morning at 7. At 2 o'clock, we again visited the compound, and Mr. Greenwich was there assisting with the construction of the ramp. He then indicated that they needed an additional 45 platforms at that time. Now this is Saturday afternoon at 2:30. They still gave us the assurance that it will happen. When we got to the stadium at 6 o'clock, the stage was probably 3/4 and skirted. But they were part of the process of day one, as Minister alluded to. When we met with them on the 7th, we indicated to them that we called every construction company looking for platforms, because that is what we agreed to. Just to take you back, prior to, we met with them when we asked them about relocation. They were adamant that they were not going to Tanti. They wanted to be on a national stage.
We would have addressed the issue that at PAN Expression, the call from the PAN lovers who were sitting in attendance was that the Panorama happened at the Tanti. Now, I do understand that people like the home of the National Stadium, but we have to look at some logistical issues with the National Stadium. And that's what we are looking at. We are looking at procuring our own stage. If we have our own stage, we can do different things, because with the Panorama stage, it's put all the way back, and the Panorama stage is the same stage that PAN is on, so PAN is quite over there and you're quite here. So we are looking at the logistics for it. But in terms of the platform that we decided, it was a decision made by both parties in the interests of Panorama and recommended by the PAN Association, the contractor to be used.
So you were comfortable with that, knowing that?
I was comfortable that the PAN Association, who understood what was happening and the stakes that were at hand, recommended and confirmed that they would work personally with the gentleman to ensure that the stage was built. The issue at hand is that there was not enough material. The issue at hand is that it is about time that Spice Mass owns its own material. It will lessen the cost that Spice Mass pays every year. We spend over $220,000 just for stage song and light at the National Stadium. That we have to look at procuring our own stage sound and light for future events. In terms of Panorama, when we discovered what happened last year, I called in parties because I said we are all grown individuals. I called in Mr. Judah and I called in the president of the Pan Association and I said, listen, let's sit together and see how we can make this thing work. Getting the Chinese stage cost the Spice Mass Corporation $125,000 just for the construction of that stage. And it is mainly done for the purpose of hosting Panorama because of course it has to be a stage that can at least take 3 tons of weight. We have to be mindful that foremost and what is most important to the Spice Mass Corporation is the safety of our people and the pan players. It would have been nice to put them on a stage and the conversation we'd be having now would not be that there wasn't Panorama, would be that we would have been irresponsible and a lot of people would have been injured. We would have had that conversation with Judah to see how we could merge this to make it happen so that we could benefit both in the terms of the costing. The partnership was also agreed on so that people who tend to want to go to White in the Moonlight would have free access to Panorama so that we could build the Panorama base. We sat together with the president and Judah and that was agreed on. Subsequent to that, the minister and I visited the Chinese embassy to seek support. The Chinese embassy gave us $40,000 financial support to help with the stage. We would have approached contractors, the Chinese contractors, they were not able to facilitate the stage. We would have approached other engineers, other companies who also said no. We called in the Pan Association and we invited them to begin a discussion. I am very surprised by the discussion because we left the discussion all thinking that we were on the same page. It's the same way we left the discussion today thinking that we are on the same page. I think the onus for us to remember is that everybody has a responsibility. When I came in 2015, I said, listen, Pan is dying and it's not only in Grenada, it's dying in St. Vincent, it's dying in St. Lucia, it's dying in Trinidad. We need to do something different. How about we make it a family affair? How about we make it free to the public? People bring their cooler, bring their drinks, bring your barbecue pit, put a bouncing castle for the children. How about we put artists in between each pan? The conversation is bigger than that and people are not always speaking the truth. And I think it's very important for us to evaluate as people what is the truth. Spice Mass is in a financial predicament. I will be able to change that predicament when I am out of debt. And in order to get out of debt, when I get out of debt, then I could say, listen, I know what show happening on Saturday night, you know. I even had a conversation with the Pan Association that maybe we need to consider merging Pan and Groovy. And maybe that could be the Saturday night show. But a lot of truths, the truth is funny, it depends on how it benefits you. But the truth to me as the CEO of Spice Mass Corporation is that I have been given a job to run the business of Spice Mass Corporation. And I commend my team for the hard work that they are doing. It is unfortunate at what happened with Panorama. And it is not, the blame doesn't lie on any person. It lies on us all. It lies on everybody who's out there on social media blasting the situation but has never bought a Panorama ticket.